today we're gonna look at the Sumeru Live Performance, and this is based on Middle Eastern, like Indian instruments. You haven't watched this one yet, right, Andrew? You've
No.
All right, let's start. This reminds me of Arabian Nights. do you think? Do you have a
I was
name?
waiting. I was waiting for the instruments to come in that were uh, Middle Eastern.
Oh, you were, yeah,
like
yeah, because
like
you really like those, huh?
it made sense that it makes sense energy wise why they would do that, having kind of the background instruments, the orchestra in a sense, like, or I guess the not as upfront stuff play first, and that when those instruments come in, it's a big impact.
Yeah,
It kind of builds itself better
it makes it
if you
more
do that.
effective, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
But also, you really like traditional instruments too.
Yes. Yes, I noticed. I mean, some of them I know them, but I don't quite know the name. But I would like know how to look it up.
The black one is called a ney. Did you see
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one
the
earlier?
name.
Do you have
I
one?
ha-
I know you're
yeah,
big
yeah.
on flutes.
I have
Flute
one.
like
It's like
woodwinds.
really hard to play because you have to apparently you make kind of the shape you would if you were to whistle,
Yeah.
and that's how you
Oh,
play it. But
really? Wait,
I
have you
can't
tried?
I can't whistle. So like
What?
like
You
I
can't
got it.
whistle?
I got it and then realized like, oh great. So like eventually I'll learn how to play it. I just need to probably find somebody who actually can play it and have them,
Yeah.
teach me. It's not a YouTubeable thing for me, at least. I haven't cracked it yet, so
Yeah.
maybe soon. But I do have a Duduk, which
Oh, you
they
do?
were playing.
Right, do you have
And
it right
those
now?
sure.
I kind of expected this year gonna have that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Duduk. Like
How hard
normally you're
is it to
playing
play
with the reed off. It's hard at first.
at first?
It takes the reed because it's a double reed instrument. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of like back pressure, and you have to fill your cheeks with air,
Yeah.
kind of like that, basically. But they have to be really not tense, but filled with air, and you have to push a lot of air from your chest to make it like make a sound.
Yeah.
But the reed's really picky. You have to do a lot to get it like wet with your mouth or with water, and you have
Do
to
you
warm it
need
up.
to always have do you always need to replace the reed, or
They you normally have like I have two, but they
you have
normally will
two?
have like yeah,
Dang.
we'll have like several reeds, and they will play one for a bit, and when it gets kind of quote tired,
Oh,
they
okay.
will use another one, and then some days another one works better than the other. They're really that's like the finicky part, but when you
Yeah.
get it right, it sounds amazing. You can play one note and it just sounds so
You can
beautiful
play
and
these
soulful.
tracks.
Um, but it's a really really cool instrument, and it's surprising like for like how big it is. It's kind of small, like really as a flute, but it
Yeah.
sounds like a bass flute. Like it's really low
Oh,
in
really?
pitch.
I figured you might have one or two of those instruments that they're gonna have in this video, because I know you really like traditional
Yeah, I've got
instruments.
one.
Yeah, I'm more of a synth head.
This is a cheap minor one, but it's a darbuka.
I didn't know you have those too. Wait, how many instruments do you have in your studio?
But it's so much fun to play and layer in with stuff. I play it like all the time on percussion tracks and different things.
Because that's the thing, I guess, with composers, you still kind of have different interests, like in
Yeah, oh
terms
yeah.
of,
Like
yeah.
some people like love. I have a friend that he plays a bunch of different instruments, kind of like I do, but he plays like just stuff that people normally aren't interested in.
With the traditional instruments, I didn't have much appreciation until I started listening to Genshin. So
And you're like,
I'm
why do
just
I
being
like this? Oh,
honest
it's because
here.
of that flute, you know.
Sorry.
It's like, oh, why do I like this so much? Oh, it's that flute part again, or whatever it is, you
Yeah,
know.
it's
Or
like it. Well, because I guess it's also the emotional attachment to the game that
Mhm.
kind of just because you with these tracks, there's always a story behind it, and when I listen
Mhm.
to it, I remember those cutscenes or like stories in the game, and it kind of makes me feel emotional, and it's just amazing how they made these tracks, and I've never really heard such amazing music. I'm starting to notice this with like the tracks that I've been listening to, like these live symphony performances, when they have a certain motif or melody, they repeat it again and again throughout the track. And maybe I think they just know how to develop that motif or like theme in a track that makes it sound a little less overwhelming for me at the very least. And they know how to really blend those different textures and timbres all together, combining orchestra and traditional instruments, and sometimes the
Yeah.
band or the choir or, you know, synths and all that. It's like done so tastefully, you know?
Yeah, it really is. And like a lot of the it's like certain like game scores or different music I'd heard that was involving ethnic instruments
Yeah.
in or multicultural instruments in with orchestra. They were doing it really well too, but they were doing it more consistently, I guess. You know, like I would have a movie and be like, oh, that end credit is really great, I love that. And but there was like one song, and Genshin's like, hey, here's a whole album. And then like a couple months later, here's another album, and I'm like, this is great. And because a lot of people also are hearing this and realizing that they enjoy it as well, and they
I
would
get
have gotten
so excited when they have
yeah,
new areas, because I'm like, oh
yeah,
my gosh, you know what that means? New music.
yeah, like I'll, you know, maybe it's like bringing some of this music that does exist and is in certain like types of media to like wider audiences.
I'm just so happy that I discovered Genshin Impact. And the music is just so inspiring to me. All right, do you want to go ahead with second
Sure.
track? It's the same conductor too. This is probably one of my favorite battle tracks. Nice.
It's cool. I mean, I guitar was my first instrument, so it's always interesting hearing like pluck string things, um,
Like
and
how it
different,
was used here.
yeah, like different cultures, and that they're using. It's like got a really great like addition to the rhythm that they have going with they've got the playing the darbuka or some form of it, that drum, and then they've got those stringed instruments like really like adding a lot of rhythm to the orchestra.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I really like how dramatic the low strings came in at. Wait, let me see. At a certain point, like at the start, kind of, because this one, like the first track that we'll listen to, we started a little bit more with the orchestra, and then it went to the traditional instruments, and then now it started a little bit more with the traditional instruments like the sitar and the ney. The ney had like a lot of a
Yeah,
lot of lines.
it was a lot of part.
Lot of
Yeah, it
parts.
might. I'm not. There's like a ney and a caval. Um, they're from the same kind of area region. Sounds cool. Like I like it.
Yeah, they do sound cool. Let me see. The one I was saying earlier. Oh, here, like that. Because it kind of feels like when you have that, it's kind of like, oh, here's the big monster kind of feel. Like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
it's coming. So it's like perfect for a battle track, definitely.
yeah. Adds a lot of depth.
Oh yeah.
And then because it's like coming in and it's going away
Eh,
again. Yeah, you're kind of like giving this hint of like it's about to get you. It's about to and
yeah.
then when they drop everything in it, the impact is really big.
How are they bangers for a boss battle? When I first listened to their boss battles, it definitely it didn't throw me off. It's more of like unexpected, I guess, on how they approach battle music. It's very different from what I was kind of used to hearing. Typically for boss battles, it's something I wouldn't want to listen to on a chill day.
Oh, I see what you're thinking. Yeah, yeah.
Like
This is
because they're
more like
too tense and it's making you anxious, it's making you
yeah,
tense, if that makes sense. But these are like, they're fun to listen to.
yeah. Yeah, I think they're more melodic based. Like
Yeah,
some boss battle style is like you said. It's just all tension and like dissonance and
yeah,
like,
dissonance,
like every part you can think of thrown in there, and that's a certain style, and that works for certain games. But like you said,
like
it's
Dragon
it's
Age
not as
or
much something you would just put on to listen to. Like it's great while you're fighting the boss, but I think being more melodic. Xenoblade Chronicles, particularly like the third one, they have like several of their battle themes or boss battle themes are very melodic like that as well.
yeah.
And it's something like I would listen to. Like I enjoy listening to them, but at the same time, they're doing their job of providing the tension, and kind of the excitement.
Seeing that hammered,
Yeah, it's
how do you
I
pronounce it? Dulcimer?
yeah
Hammered
there yeah
Dulcimer?
yeah
Kind of
that's
makes
like
me
the
want to
type.
get it.
I don't know. It's like I want to say tempur. I'd have to look it up. They have a specific name for their version of it. Like
This one?
the Chinese, yeah, the Chinese one is the yanqing.
Hmm.
But similar, it's a hammered dulcimer type of
I just
instrument where
call
you
it
play.
hammered Dulcimer.
Yeah, you play really fast with two mallets, and it's like to me it seems difficult, but
I actually was noticing, yeah, that hammered dulcimer earlier. It kind of felt like it was used to emphasize certain notes. Yeah, and also just so you know too, like there is the battle theme here as well. Um so in that line I pointed out that they do have a battle theme and they also incorporated that for this one. And it's that melody that you hear, that dun 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 dun, like. Yeah, with the hammered dulcimer.
yeah, they did a little bit like different instrumentation, but it's that same melody. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, they always have that for each nation.
I want a sitar. They're just expensive.
How much are sitars?
I don't know, for like thousands,
Oh my god. Yeah,
like it's
it's
like complicated
huge.
to make, like it's difficult to make, and it's big. Yeah, so like it's big, so a lot of wood is going to cost a lot of money.
Are those fine
Metal
tuners
parts.
kind of like the violins fine
I
tuners?
imagine. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure a lot
I'm
about
like, oh
how
my
that.
gosh, because like fine tuners are
It looks
the,
cool.
yeah, those black ones on violins that have like the four fine tuners, and it's only four, and you tune your violin to those.
I get. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I really actually don't know. Like, that's a good question. Like, because you would think up top, like that's on a normal stringed instrument. That's where the tuning is. Yeah, I'd have a lot to learn, but that's what would be fun.
We always have a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Always. All right, thank you so much for joining me again
Sure.
in watching this. If you enjoy that, feel free to subscribe for more Hoyoverse music content. I'll be inviting more industry guests in the future, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching.